Hey everybody, check it out. What's up? It's Hercules Porsche's professional intro. Yay!
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Heracles Porsche here, also known as Gildenlock on Xbox One, and I just wanted to speak about Star Wars Battlefront, Star Wars Mania, whatever random topics come into my head, and just share them with you guys. Uh, so I'm here. I'm using a test fit. I'm using a fit I don't normally. You see, I have a rifle I almost never use. I think it's called the RT 97C. I could have that wrong. Anyway, it's the super spray and pray blaster, and then I've got the focus fire and the pulse cannon. Of course, always got to have my pulse cannon, and I cycler rifle, which I barely touch. And this game is going to actually be my best kill game ever. This is the game I've got the most kills in ever. It's going to start pretty slowly, so I have a lot of time to just kind of natter on about related topics that I think might interest you. But yeah, I started this like not even. I started this game very unambitiously, just trying to test new ideas, and then things will pick up later. But anyway, I really want to talk to you first about the recent Star Wars Battlefront updates. I believe though this game got an update on the 16th, some balance changes. I'll go through those now. Um, First, there was a major bug that I think was introduced in the patch before with heroes versus villains. There was a if you were a like grunt, if you were a trooper, just a rebel or stormtrooper or whatever in the heroes versus villains mode, there was some bug preventing you from using your star cards, and it hit pretty much everybody. And sometimes the bug would disappear after a death or something, but and pretty much anybody who's been playing heroes versus villains recently has been hit with this bug. So they did, it was a major bug. They did fix that, so that was good. I can actually enjoy my heroes versus villains again. Um, there's a couple other bugs that they fixed. 1 out of 12 players remained in the loading screen on a bunch of different maps. Um, Fixed an issue on the lava map where someone would spawn somewhere that they took damage from lava. Um, and here's a pretty big yet not big enough buff. They increased the AT-AT health on Endor. And yeah, that's confirmed. That's in the notes. The last time a patch came out, we didn't get the patch notes right away, so a lot of people speculated that we got a health buff on Endor, and then turns out we didn't. But then this newest update, we do have it for sure. But unfortunately, it's just not enough. Anyway, you can see me. I'm not an adept with the cycler rifle yet, which is kind of why I brought it. It was supposed to be a practice mace, perfect game. Turned to something else. But anyway, yeah, just it's anyway. I've been playing a lot of Endor, trying to see how good this buff is. It's I have noticed you can definitely see a lot more games going into Phase 3. I doubt I'll ever see a Phase 1 wins should be a lot rarer, but it's still basically, long story short, the Rebels are still dominating on Endor. So um, I don't know. It just felt like it wasn't quite enough. And I mean, I think we all kind of have to accept. Well, we don't have to accept, but you know, Walker Assault. Uh, it's just not perfectly balanced. I don't know if they'll ever quite get it there. Um, we all accepted during the beta that the Empire was gonna win, you know, 4 out of 5 games. Now in the actual game, it's the Rebels that pretty much dominate. And I would absolutely love to see this game perfectly balanced, so we could get we could get a 50-50 ratio. But I don't know. After some experiences with other games I've played, waiting for them to get updates that really improve the game. I'm just like, I know not to hold my breath for stuff like this, but it would be great. It would be great if we could get this game truly balanced. Because you know, playing the Empire is just like, you know, you can't do it casually. You can't do it with a bunch of casual players and expect to win. The Rebels just have a very natural advantage, and part of it, I mean, it comes from a bunch of different things, but Part of it is just the walkers not really having enough health, and the other major thing is spawns. At the end of this level I'm currently playing, the spawns are like ridiculously favor the rebels. Like you have to run a mile to get to the uplinks, and the rebels have to walk like 2 steps, and that's lame. I don't know how easy it is to fix spawns. It's probably more complicated than just changing a number on the walker health, but it's the same thing with Phase 2 on Endor. It's ridiculous. You gotta run a giant mile to get the uplinks. The rebels are practically on top of it when they spawn. Um, so those are the top two that really stick out for me. And then Phase 2 on Sora Sub is pretty. Rebels seem to have a huge advantage. And and Tatooine, it used to seem like if you let the rebels get more than like a handful of Y-wings in the third phase, they would win. Um, I think it's not as bad anymore, stuff like that, because I think more Imperials are learning to play anti-air. But yeah, but yeah, it's just that's just the state of the game. Rebels dominate, and Imperials have to either accept that their probability is against them, or like put together a completely overpowered team. Anyway, you can see here we are with Boba. Things are starting to pick up here. The kills are definitely starting to pile up way faster than they were at the start of the footage. But that was the I'm using Boba right now, so I might as well talk about the nerf. And it's the nerf to the wrist rockets. I think you've seen a wrist rocket or two by now. Obviously, I'm going back to the blasters, but I'll go back to abusing it pretty soon. But there it is. There's another wrist rocket. That was some hero damage there on Leia. And but yeah, it's kind of an abusable mechanic. Here I'm using flamethrower. It's very rare that I consider this almost a useless ability. When I just used it right there, it was like one of the very rare uses of flamethrower, when you have like two rebels in front of you and they're like completely clueless. And it's a kind of useful on heroes versus villains as well, because you do get in situations where they're just like giant cluster lucks of people. But generally, for the most part, the flamethrower on this thing is useless. But the wrist rocket definitely isn't, or wasn't when this footage came out. I think this footage is from the 12th. Let me check that. No, sorry, it's the 10th. Anyway, yeah, you've seen the wrist rocket. It's very abusable. You'll continue to see, it was very abusable. You'll continue to see it. And that got a nerf. So the wrist rocket is it's not useless anymore, but it's not like the absolute menace that it used to be. So Boba Fett is still gonna be a great character on maps like this, big open maps. It just means you're not gonna be able to abuse his wrist rocket the way you used to be able to, because it doesn't have that ridiculous lock on. And you'll see me like I said, you'll see me abusing that throughout the footage. Anyway, I know I'm repeating myself, guys, but I'm just making sure I've covered every topic pretty thoroughly. There it is. More perfect finishing example of the wrist rocket abuse. This is just what any player could do, no matter how talented or talentless they were. They could just jump pack, throw up a wrist rocket, let it go, and I was definitely abusing that mechanic. And that's why I was as successful as I was this game. But it doesn't really, like, I'm not sorry even though I had such a great game with this, I'm not sorry they took it away, because when you're using something that doesn't feel like it has a lot of skill, like this or the homing rocket, it doesn't, knowing that you're succeeding because you're abusing an in-game mechanic doesn't feel as rewarding. And I'm very glad I did get this game and record this game, because this is my new personal record for kill counts. But I don't think my gameplay should be about just abusing in-game mechanics. So anyway, we're almost done with the updates. I know you guys are like, nah, when is he gonna stop with this? Okay, we have one last update to talk about. It's the impact grenade, and the damage, impact damage for the impact grenade has gone from 100 to 90, and that sucks for people who like their impact grenade. Now, this item did start out originally in the game as pretty much completely overpowered. It's been nerfed right into the ground now. This is actually the second nerf it's got. The first nerf was an AoE radius decrease of like half a meter. That was in the first update they did. And I thought that was appropriate. I thought that helped balance it out to a good level. But the second nerf they did put the impact damage from 100 to 90, which means it's no longer a one-hit kill weapon. And I played with it a bunch today to see if if the impact grenade still had a place in my playstyle, and the answer is not really. It's just been nerfed way too freaking hard. I did find one use for it. I found if you run around if you use personal shield a lot, I would say it's not useless. It's especially in the smaller maps. I've done this thing where I've hit the personal shield, I've thrown an impact grenade at someone to get them under half health, and then I finish them off with a melee attack. So it's not useless, but it's not a one-hit kill weapon anymore. It's got a very specific utility compared to just the overpowered beast that it used to be. So I don't know. I guess I'm a little sad to see it go, but at the same time, it didn't take a whole lot of skill to use, but it was like a mainstay. It was like when I first played this game, I was mixing together impact grenade and barrage and just abusing both of those weapons back when they were overpowered. And I'm glad they didn't stay that way. But the nerfs on the impact grenade just felt a little too hard. But just the same, it's all right. I'll adjust. I'll adapt. But I think they were over nerfed just a touch in IMO, but not enough to really affect my opinion of this game. Anyway, so yeah, that's everything that was in the last update. I guess you just fill this with talk of the rest of this video with talk of Star Wars Mania. It obviously, you guys, I'm sure anyone is excited for Star Wars. All their friends are excited for Star Wars. You have nothing but Star Wars stuff in your feed. I even have a local politician who's, changed his profile picture to be a Jedi or something. It's everywhere. It doesn't matter who you are. You're nuts about Star Wars now. I get it. Oh, and there it is. There's my Boba streak, and you saw there my scores. My score, of course, jumped way up after I got Boba, and I don't even know why I'm hesitating here. It's obvious which set I want to use. It's like, do I want to go back to testing, or do I want to finish this kill streak? Obviously I want to get this kill streak. But yeah. Everyone who's anyone, and I do mean anyone, is experiencing the Star Wars Mania right now. Obviously, it's been released. But it's different for me. The Star Wars Mania is a little different for me, and the main reason for that is because growing up as a kid, and when I say kid, I mean I was like, I don't know, young teenager, whatever, that age range. I read a lot of Star Wars. I also listened to a lot of Star Wars audio, a lot of the books on like audio stuff, whatever. And yeah, so I'm very acquainted with a lot of the extended Star Wars universe lore. And yeah, I think I took this blaster accidentally, but obviously it worked out pretty well. Anyway, yeah, so it's different for me because I grew up with characters some of you guys might not be familiar with. Jaqen and Jaina Solo, who were the son and daughter of obviously Han Solo and Leia. And obviously it's dating itself a little bit because those characters have to be named after the male. Their last name has to be the male, whatever, blah blah blah, last name, which is interesting. I don't know. I think a new modern character would probably have like a hyphenated name. It would if those characters were created today, they'd probably be Organa Solo or Solo Organa. Obviously they're related to the Skywalkers, but whatever. Those characters, I got very familiar with them, and I know they're not going to be in the new movies, so it doesn't mean I'm not excited for the new movie, but I don't know what to call it. It tempers my excitement. I don't feel the need to go. I didn't feel a desperate need to go see it on opening day. Neither do my friends, but a lot of my friends also are Star Wars fans, so we are gonna go be seeing. Yeah, we're gonna go see that together anyway. Yeah, but what else? But yeah, it's a different experience. So I don't know if you guys read a lot of Star Wars books growing up, but it does change things for you a little bit. The hype, I think, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe some of you guys read tons of Star Wars books growing up as a kid, and you couldn't be happier to see a new Star Wars movie, even if it replaces all that stuff you knew. But it's got to be different. It's got to be a different experience. It's got to be a different experience for anyone who's read Star Wars books, I think. I don't know. Here I am heading into the fire overhead without a care. Um, yeah, that was a fail. That was a fail in the melee department. Anyway, that was an entertaining fail. I don't mind those. Anyway, what else is there? Oh yeah, another important update. This weekend it is obviously, what do I call it? It's double double score weekend. Double score weekend also basically means double credit weekend. So it's nice. It means pretty much anybody who's playing Star Wars Battlefront this weekend has been benefiting from it. It's going to benefit the vets. Well, I don't know. The extreme veterans probably don't need any more credits. They're probably fine. But it's really good for helping. Definitely going to be really good for helping the new players catch up to where the veterans are, so they can level up really fast and get access to all the goodies that high-level vets like me can take for granted. And I definitely have no problem with that. I don't. Whatever ends, whatever shrinks player disparity, uh, I'm kind of in favor of that because I don't like the idea of people being left out of whatever. So it's good. It's a good way to get people up to where, the majority of the player base up to where the vets are. So good on them for doing that. Anyway, there it is, 50 kills. That's my highest kill score ever, and I know some people have got higher scores. You might be surprised how little I care about that. That's me. That's my personal best. Anyway, I hope you found this video informative and fun. And until next time, I'll see you Starside.